So if you're tired of being a short hitter, this is the video for you, because if you try to swing faster or harder, but you can't bump up that distance, there's a big reason why. There's 3 reasons why. And once we fix these 3 reasons, you're naturally going to create more speed. This is the most common 3 things I see with golfers on a daily basis in lessons, but even for myself, disabled golfer with cerebral palsy. So I do not have the strength or athleticism to be able to create speed, but I can. So this is going to help all of you out there because it helps me. So first reason here, and it's your setup. So when a lot of golfers are setting up to the golf ball, they try to set up in what we call an athletic posture. So they're setting up there with a lot of hip hinge, quite a bit of knee flex into this position where you're kind of like a goalkeeper waiting to receive a ball in a penalty shootout. So from there, it looks good, looks like it creates speed, but it absolutely does not, and it makes you extremely inaccurate too. Now, big reason why that is because an athletic setup does not lend to an athletic move. So let me explain it here. This is a lot of you guys who suffer with a lot of early extension. This is you as well. So when you're having this athletic setup, armpits are over or in front of the toes. So what that means is the weight of your upper body is displaced in front of you. So that means as you move in the backswing, as you turn, if you keep your upper body forward in this athletic posture with the weight on the toes, again, you're going to end up falling forward. You're going to lose your balance. Your weight's going to be in a very unstable part of the foot to maintain it. So what we see from there for players, they will struggle to be able to turn, because if they do, the weight's just going to pivot on their feet or in their toes. Not good. But what you most commonly see is as they turn back, they'll start to either have the upper body go back and pelvis go forward. They lose their depth, which means they just move their body forward. So you can imagine if you're moving your body forward, you're not going to go coil up, you're not going to be reaching a full backswing. But again, if your body's getting closer to the golf ball at the top of your swing, because why is that happening? That's happening to get the weight coming back again. When the upper body goes back, places the mass of the upper body more in line with the midfoot. So that's why it does it. But you're going to early extend, and that's going to ultimately destroy your speed. So that's why having this athletic posture is not good. Again, hard to keep balance from there. Again, I did a good job hitting that ball to target, but absolutely woeful. So my normal club head speed there is around 105. Again, disabled golfer with cerebral palsy, even though I'm a pro, that's as fast as I've got on a day, and that is 10 miles an hour slower. So we need to set up to the golf ball in a way that is going to help us move athletically. So we don't want to be athletic in the setup, we want to be athletic as we move. We have to be unathletic in the setup to do so. So that's where we need what I call old man posture. So setting up like this. That doesn't really look that different, does it? But compared to the athletic posture, it feels very different as well. So ultimately, I'm focusing on here, getting my armpits over the balls of my feet. When the armpits are over the balls of my feet, as I turn, as I rotate, I don't have to lose my body position to keep my balance. The weight of the upper body is going to be nicely managed over the balls of the feet. So then I can pivot in the downswing and move much more powerfully. I'm going to show you a procedure to do this. So immediately, you're going to hit the ball a lot further. So for me, it's a very stiff day. If any of you out there have cerebral palsy as well, you'll notice some days you just will feel really, really stiff. That's today for me. 105 is quite tough today. But again, I feel like that's very realistic to a lot of golfers out there, maybe a little bit older. You have a day where you're just, of course, not feeling too loose and limber. That's why these immediately going to help. That was a 10 mile an hour jump up. So what we need to do here, okay, we need to get, like we said, the armpits over the balls of the feet. So this little procedure will help you a ton. So stand upright with a slight bend in the knees like you're talking to someone out in front of you. Get your club in front of you just like so. Relax your mid and upper back until the club hits the ground there. So now I've got this old man posture like I'm an old man holding a cane. So I've got this nice little round of my upper back, pretty straight with my lower and mid spine. Again, just a little bit of bend in the knees again. Slight bend of the knees, talking to someone in front of you. Relax your mid and upper back. Again, this is going to free you up to be able to turn, make a full turn, and be able to keep your pelvis back in the downswing. If you're here, athletic posture, you have to stand up. It's like you're on a tightrope. If you move your upper body forward, you're going to have to quickly move back because the weight's going too forward there. So it makes your balance, your dynamic balance better. Let's do one more. Let's see if we can get to my normal speed. Almost. So, brilliant one there again. A 10 mile an hour jump up. Nail this setup, but now we're moving on to backswing because this is so important. Okay, so now backswing, what we're doing here, we have not got enough width as we take the club back and turn. So this ties into the first one. If we've got a bad posture, we're not going to be able to get turn. We certainly wouldn't get width. So what we see a lot of golfers do, they'll take the club back, bring their hands really close to their body, maybe a little bit of a whip inside as a result. And then from there, they're just bringing their arms up without too much coil. And again, if I hit one here, you're not going to see the ball go very far or very fast. Really hard to be able to create some speed. Again, I feel like my body kind of slowed down to be able to create a little bit of speed there. So I'll still try, and if I can get an accurate tee height here, I'll still try and do one where I'm trying to create some speed from that. You're going to see it's not really going to be too great. Again, 94. So really narrow, no turn. Again, try to give that a little bit more. Got a little bit more, it's gone up by a couple miles an hour. Could I, if I did that all the time, create a little bit more speed just from more effort? Yes, but what you'll seem to find from there, you'll just have to fire the arms harder and harder. Why that is because when you get narrow with no turn, look at what happens when I'm narrow. I lose my arm structure. So I'm going to have to get the club moving wider away. We're going to start to early release it. Our speed will start to be here rather than at the golf ball. It's one of the reasons why it makes you swing slower. And of course, the obvious, if I'm not getting a coil up and a turn, I'm just generally not going to be swinging, of course, with too much speed. The more turn we can get, the more speed we can generate. Important thing is to turn to the amount your body can actually do. That's a video for another day. But if I start to get now a little bit more width, stretching the club out, feel like I'm standing here, for example, and I'm just passing the club to myself. That nice width creates that longer, wider arc, that creates speed. And then as we turn, we're trying to get that feeling of almost having that left shoulder work behind the golf ball, coiling up nicely. So let's have a go here. So I'm passing the club to someone behind, getting it wide, widening the arc, creating more speed via momentum, getting that left shoulder behind the ball for more turn. Oh, way easier to be able to create some speed. That was a nice one. So you can see straight away there, 104.7, so 105, 262 carry, 290 total. For me, very, very good. That kind of loosened my body up a little bit, which was nice as well. As I said, it's a very stiff feeling day. So let's get into a drill to work on this. So my absolute favorite drill to work on width and turn, you can do it all together just with a resistance band. So what we do with this resistance band, we put it underneath our left foot just like so. And then we grip our resistance band about halfway up it, wrap it around the grip. And then we just do practice swings here. You don't need to hit a ball, just do your backswing. Try to feel like you're really stretching the band all the way into takeaway, which gets you the width, mid backswing, that continues the width. And then if I'm gonna get up to the top of the swing like this, I've got to turn the body, that left shoulder behind the ball feeling. There we go. So that creates the width and the turn together. It stretches you out nicely. I should have done more of this before I turned the camera on for sure. Get myself loosened up. But again, if you're a senior golfer or you're a golfer that might not have as much athleticism like myself for whatever reason, an absolute brilliant one because it's going to stretch your body out nicely as well. It's going to really help you gain some more flexibility. Brilliant. So I'd recommend doing that as much as you can. This is where I've done this with a bunch of students recently. One of my recent students online we worked with, so who's over in the States, and of course I'm here in the UK, more specifically in Scotland. All completely online, and we gained significant distance by doing that drill. He was classic this. Really whipped in, because if you're really narrow, you're gonna whip the club in, no turn up to the top. And again, just getting that feel with the resistance band, gain significant distance. So great one. So that feel, replicate that on the golf ball. And then we're gonna get into the last one, which is a really, really good one. Will help you in a lot of areas. So nice width, nice turn, replicate the same feel as the band, good setup. That was hit a little bit off the bottom of the face. Oh, my speed's jumping up now. See how much better of a drill that is, because what's that got me to? 107. So why is that? Because I've got more width and more turn. Like I said, it's a very stiff feeling day for me. Look at it, bullet straight. So you can imagine if you were doing that a ton before you went out and played, you're going to be having a really good driving day. Let's go on to the next one. Now, the third reason of real reasons why you can't create speed. Again, this is the most common thing I see with golfers day to day. That's robbing them of speed, and this one robs me at times a little bit of speed. So, and that is not giving yourself enough time in transition to get the sequencing loading correctly in the downswing. So in the simple terms, rushing the downswing. So, okay, what we see a lot of golfers do as soon as they start their downswing, they're immediately trying to go. Of course, that change of direction, their intent is to hit the ball fast and hit the ball, of course, as far as they can. That'll get them a little bit too pulley down, a little bit too much arm action. A lot of golfers, this can relate into quick chest rotation as well, throwing the club over. Maybe your real low handicaps, you could drop the club too much down. That's me for sure from there. So it feels powerful, does. It can still get the ball out there, but it's not that accurate and you will be losing some speed. So again, really rush. I'm going to do what I do to a fault, sometimes under pressure. Now it'll be a little bit of this. Again, I almost topped that. I didn't mean to hit it that poorly, but as you can see there, I really did try to give it some from the top, really rush downswing. So I got 103.4, which is great, but what was our shot just before that? It was 107. So there is no hope I will be able to get 107 doing that. And again, why that's the case is because if I'm really rushing from the top, I'm not giving myself any time to load into my left side. Again, you know, I'm harping on it in this video, but my cerebral palsy makes it really hard to do that. A lot of guys who've got maybe a little bit of a weakness in their left side might struggle a little bit with this, but it will help for so many other reasons us doing this anyway. So if you can, strengthen up your legs. It's gonna be a really good thing. So if we are making sure we're feeling, again, transition is just giving yourself a bit of time. Your body's going to naturally load into that left side a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. Some golfers will start to do it as they're completing the top of the swing, like we see the best players in the world. But what that does, that starts to load the ground earlier. So then as you start to unwind, you'll start to then get the force coming out of the ground a little bit earlier. So your vertical force will start to increase. Your vertical force is the biggest speed creator in the golf swing. And when you do it correctly, getting loading with nice patience at the top, and then naturally you'll start to explode out the ground. Again, it gets you a little bit more turn and rotation, as you could see there. So I want to feel really like I'm giving it some time at the top. So time at the top of my swing. Let's give it a go. Again, feel like it. It's certainly not going to look it for me, but feel like that's happening. So to me, that felt like it. Straight out the middle of the face. 105.4. Touch fadey. Is it still going to hit our fairway? I think it might just be a wee bit short of it. Good drive though. I'll be very happy with that drive out on the golf course. So feeling like, that's the key there, feel. For me, I'm such in a habit over my years. I mean, over my junior life, I would just pull hard every single shot, pull hard down. And that's where, if you've seen my videos where I talk about pausing at the top, which is a drill we're going to talk about in a second, was really instrumental for me to be able to slow a bit of that down. But it still happens, especially under pressure. That's a lot of you out there. That's why a lot of your first tee shots are quite poor, because you're really trying to go from that top. And again, in the simple terms, if we're slower here, it's almost like we're ramping up the speed like a Tiger Woods game. So where you've got that kind of speed gauge, and then you're going slower, but then it's getting ramping up through the golf ball. We don't want to waste our speed there. Super simple. Let's do one more, and then we'll get straight into the drill. Again, feel versus real here, feeling like I'm slow at the top, giving it patience. Feel like that one maybe a smidge open of the face. Oh, not bad. But again, great drive. That's my much more normal club head speed. 258, 272. Again, I'm not a top tour player by any stretch. I can't generate that speed for obvious reasons. A lot of you out there watching, you're not going to go and just randomly start to hit it over 300 yards after this. That might be more of what you're going to do. Around a 260 carry, 272 total. You're not going to struggle at any golf course with that. So let's get to the drill. So our drill, the classic pause at the top drill. So what Tiger used to do back in his golden era when he used to work with Butch. So around from, I think he started working on this about 99 all the way to around 2002, which was his pause at the top and then swinging through. So that's where we want to pause. Don't have to pause for long, depending on how rushed you are. You know, half a second of a pause might be plenty. So I'm going to do about that, half a second to a second, and it's ultimately, obviously, going to stop me from getting too quick from the top. So again, let's do one here. So you can see there, don't care where the ball goes when I do this because it is a tough drill. But already, with me essentially not doing any backswing momentum to help me with that because I'm stopping at the top, you know, over 100 miles an hour just from the top is great. Again, might there be a tour player that can, you know, do that with a 5-iron probably, but that's not bad at all. Again, we would see the speed slightly lower. If you can crank the speed up faster doing that, you've targeted your weak area. So again, another one here. That felt nice, open face I could feel. Not bad at all. When I pause at the top, my club face kind of, you see that kind of bounce it does? I just can't stop myself from doing that. Again, if you do that, it doesn't necessarily matter for me. It just opens up the face a wee bit, makes me go to the right, but you're still targeting that key area. Let's do one more, because that wasn't bad at all. 102, happy with that. Carry-wise, 250, 272. Not massively different, was it? So my normal shot. So let's do one more. Pause at the top for what feels like about a second, and then just rip through it. Definitely tried to get that a bit straighter, not bad. Bit necky of a strike. Good, so that is, if you suffer with that, which is a lot of short golfers, that's what you need to do. So what you could see here, there was really nothing that related into your flexibility and your strength being the issue. Maybe a little bit for rushing in transition. Root cause could be someone's left side isn't strong enough. It's myself. But these are very actionable things you can do no matter your athleticism, no matter your flexibility, that will gain you speed. Need to go and dive into these things, the root cause reason to what's robbing you of speed before you go and do some overspeed training to bump up that governor of speed. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, click that like button for more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. And if you want lessons one-to-one myself, maybe to gain your speed or anything else, we can do that anywhere in the world on Skillist, which there is a link down in the description to fire that up.